Hi, welcome to Vlogmas. What are we on, 18? Wow, 18 already. That means it's only a week until Christmas. Oh, goodness. You know, I was going to do like another hardcore video, but since I just said the C word, I guess I'm sort of going to do another sort of my life story time thing. Yee. I mean, actually, there's a couple things. I was going to split them into two videos because I actually do keep like a list of possible video ideas, believe it or not. I know these seem like random, goofy, off the cuff. I mean, they are, but I'm not even looking. This is even slightly on. That's a little better. You know what? But the lighting was better where it was. I don't know, whatever. Also, I'm having like a crazy storm outside, so if you hear it, sorry. Yeah, you know it's gonna be good when I'm hedging and don't want to talk. Isn't that always? Because I thought I would talk about my family. And, well, the two video topics that I had that I'm going to have to cross off and now come up with new ones. This is going to be another hard one. Look, there's like nothing up there. More reindeer for the roof, maybe? Probably. Anyway, well, the two, okay, now I can be like judged because, you know, that's my favorite thing. The two topics were why my life, why my life is really better, and also an update on my sister. And there's a part of me saying that I should not make this video at all, but whatever, who cares? I mean, I can always, you know, whatever they do, make the video unseeable or whatever in the future. Well, because like yesterday, yesterday I made a video about how to make changes in your life. And there have been a lot of changes in my life in the last couple of years. And I went from being in a very dire sort of position to being... Can you see this? Don't think so. Oh my goodness, you really can't, can you? Okay, let me move everything up. To much better, and it sort of just keeps getting better, and the reality is the reason why is because that there are people that are no longer in my life to the degree that they were, period. That's why things are better. And that's a really harsh thing, and and truth, and I don't really want to admit it, but it's true. It's true that the sort of the less the of the time that I spend with my son, the better off we are. And I hate that, but that's, there are facts. Okay, and yes, my kid would never watch this video. But even if he did, he would be really offended, and then he would go, that's kind of true. Because it's kind of true for both of us. And the point of me saying that is not to be snarky and horrible. The point of me saying this is seriously, I cannot stress it enough. If you have people who are extremely negative to you and are very much holding you back, and you got to get away from them. And it will be crazy difficult. Because it's really, when somebody who is, for whatever reason, is being abusive, they're getting something out of that. It's, it's not like they're, can you see what I'm doing over here? Nope. How is this sucker working today? Wow. I am so far out of range. Sorry. It's not that they're just doing it because, let's have some fun. I mean, they're a truth sicko, maybe. But usually there's a reason for it. And usually the reason is that they cannot figure a way of functioning on their own, and so they are trying to keep you involved in their life, so that they can then basically get whatever they need from you. Is that a really gross way of thinking about the world? Yep, but it is true. And it is also true that probably the best thing you can do, this is probably the bottom. I don't know. Really, truly, is to get away from them. Which I know is probably an insanely difficult thought for anybody to have, to think that they have to get people out of their life in order to fully function as a human being. Just because that's a disturbing thought does not mean it's not true. It would be really nice if people weren't acting in such a horrific way toward other people in their life. But that's the truth, is sometimes you just have to get people out of your life in order to function. And that's a horrible thing to think about, and it's a horrible thing to say, and I get that, and go ahead and judge me and say I'm awful for it. But also, if you are in a situation that, chaos reigns. And people are just mistreating you left and right, which is, it is so hard to get away from the people who were abusing you. It's really insanely difficult. And then with my son, I mean, it was documented that he'd have no contact whatsoever, because I refused to let him have contact with the people who had abused me. Really, like, especially, I had years and years where I did not interact with my father at all, because it was part of sort of my philosophy as a parent, that I was not going to allow my son to witness me being basically assaulted in any way, shape, or form. That he was not going to have to witness that and feel guilty about it and have that in his life. Therefore, for years and years and years, I had no contact with my father at all, because he just couldn't not do it. He was, that's how he expressed himself, with his hands and fists. And for that reason, I cut him out. And I mean, it is very, very difficult. I'm not gonna lie. It's very hard to do it. But it also needs to be done. Okay, so yeah. Which brings me to the really scary story. My sister's lived in California for years and years and years, and I had no interaction with her at all. And that was absolutely fine by me, because she basically learned the family way, and she was very, very violent with me. Like, I have physical scars all over from her. She's pretty hideous, actually. And I mean, we don't get along anyway, because we have a different outlook on the entire universe. I think I said, well, I told somebody, if it wasn't in this, in the vlog, or whatever you want to call this thing, I told some people, because it's just unbelievable to me, that she had like a hissy fit because she thought her daughter, reminded her of me. And I'm just like, oh my God. And she said it when her kid was in the house with her, and so I don't understand how she didn't hear that. And I'm just like, how do you say something like that about your kid? How do you do that when she could have heard, when she probably heard? I'm just like, how? Because again, I protected my kid, but that's not how my sister operates. And we don't get along now. And that's just how we put it. We don't get along. Although the fact that we interact on such a small level now, I mean, that was sort of known in the family, because I keep getting, people ask, how is she doing? And I'll actually have an answer for her. I mean, it's not like we're being pals or something, but yes, I have a minor clue of what's going on in my sister's life. And they're just flabbergasted that somehow we've, I don't know, reconnected as adults or something. Which is like, give me a break. But yeah, my sister, this weekend, she called me up and said, hey, I'm going with her daughter to the mall. We're going to be there. Do you want to hang out with us? And I was like, oh my God. I was like, nope, got to work. But then I didn't say that. I didn't react with my immediate gut response because, you know, that's what you learn not to do. To instead take a deep breath and think about it. And it's like, okay, very calculating. Okay, if I do this, then that will give me a little while where I don't have to interact with her anymore. Because she does, how should I put it, give me the heebie-jeebies still. And I think she always will. Just point blank refusing to let you see what I'm doing. I mean, I don't think that anybody that's watching this video really cares about these puzzles, but you never know. Anyway, especially now that I'm making it so awkward by talking about this. You know, but I am so sorry. Sorry, but not sorry. Isn't that what they say? Yeah, it was rough growing up in that type of situation, and it set me up for a lot of things that were not cool, and it set me up basically to, and this is a horrible way of putting it, set me up to be a victim, but it really did, because I was primed for basically shutting up and just doing, you know, going along with whatever crazy idea that somebody else had, rather than trying to have an opinion about anything, because it was literally a violent situation for me to open my mouth and to have an opinion, say what's going on in my family. And I don't trust my sister at all. So this video is actually even worse than what I thought it was going to be. And you hear that? Is it the cat? Is it the storm? What's going on? So I guess I'm glad that I combined these two terrible ideas into one video to get it over with. And if I wasn't making this puzzle, I probably would scrap this whole thing and get rid of it. Not because I'm like embarrassed by it, because I'm not. I think that is, oh, it's a Poppy. Poppy is playing with ornaments on a Christmas tree. What a brat. Anyway. I mean, it's probably completely weird for me to say I'm not embarrassed by what's going on with the family. But I'm not. You know, I wasn't the one that put myself into that situation with anybody in my family at all. And, you know, how they choose to interact with me was their choice. The whole thing is sideways. No wonder I'm having such a hard time. I could not figure out how this puzzle went. I couldn't keep it in frame. It's still not in frame. But anyway, update with my sister is that it's really weird to be around her when she's sober. It's very strange. I mean, it has been decades. I still don't agree with anything that she does. At all. Fuzz from the cats. I'm still spooked by her. She's like, you know, an older, you know, dignified lady. I mean, this is the only good thing, I guess, on my side is she's just living up to the expectation of, you know, this is what American middle-aged women do, in her opinion. So, she's moving toward the, you know, doddering old lady thing, even though she's younger than me. And so I don't think she ever really would become like a violent, crazy maniac again. But it's like I don't want that in my life. She does not understand that. She cannot understand that. Her husband can't understand it. They think, in her head, I mean, you don't talk to somebody for 10 or 15 years. The only reason we talked to each other was because I had to plan the funeral for my father when my mother died, and all we were doing was fighting. I think she blamed it on being drunk. I blame it on being her. But the other thing I've been talking about in the video is like how to do small talk and stuff. It's basically how I look at her. It's like somebody who doesn't matter. And so she's not somebody that I have to pay attention to. Yes, she's going to try and remember everything I do and judge me on it. And I don't care, because I can do it back to her. And I can remember some terrible thing and tell it her kids, and she knows that I got terrible things to tell her kids. So she's sort of keeping herself in line. But do I want to spend time with her? No. She still doesn't know where I live. I don't think she's ever going to know where I live, and that's just how it is. My son came up with this plan to come hang out with me on Christmas Eve, because I have a tree and he doesn't, and because he wants to meet my new cat. And I'm just like, oh my God. That's going to take some thinking about. I mean, I like my kid. I do. But he's still out of the blue. If he's having a bad day, he does not physically come after me at all anymore. But he emotionally does and says the most awful things. And I'm like, why would I spend, I mean, actually, I'm going to get, oh my God, can you brace yourself? I'm going to get 2 days off I'm going to have Christmas Eve and Christmas off. Unbelievable. But do I want to spend them with my son, who, if he's having a bad day, is going to try and take it out on me? Do I want to spend time with my sister, who, as far as I'm concerned, is like, one, a stranger, and two, could go rogue at any point? So yeah, why is my life better? It's because I don't have these people in my life. It's coming up to a head now. And I mean, it's so little. I don't live with them. But it is definitely giving me like the memories of what it was like to live with somebody, to have to interact with them on a daily basis, where they're absolutely, I mean, there's no way to get, if you're living with somebody and they're either physically or verbally abusive to you, you don't have any way to escape it, really. I mean, the escape is to go to school where you're a weirdo and you're, you know, attacked for that, because, you know, when you're a teenager, the number one thing to do is conform and make sure that you are exactly according to whatever their standard is. And when you have avoidant personality disorder, you will never meet the standard. So, whatever. So there is no escape. Why is my life better? Because I've escaped all that. All of that. There it is. So, will I hang out with them? I think I'm done with my sister. Hopefully. I probably will hang out with my kid, but I'm telling you, I'm really glad he's given me a week to wrap my head around it. I mean, I'm sure that he would just assume. But, you know, it's one thing if I go there. Because, see, if he starts up with ramping up, I can just leave and interaction is over. If he's in my house, he doesn't drive. I can't leave him in my house. I would have to drive him back to his house, which means I would have to hear his crap. It's a terrible idea to me. But look at, if you've seen, like, I mean, I've been doing this channel for over 10 years. If you've seen the difference between from the beginning to the end, everything that I've gone through, I think that things have hugely improved. And I don't believe it is just age. It's like this thing, you age out of having the extreme reaction to avoidant personality disorder, mostly because I think that you like get past the period where you're expected to have kids, and then suddenly you don't have this societal and familial pressure on you to conform anymore. I don't believe that's it. I think that the people who abused you have died off or gone from your life in one way or the other. I don't think you live with them anymore, and I think that really makes a difference. And so I know it's the craziest thing to say, put some serious physical distance between yourself and the people in your life who have made you feel like you need to act in a avoidant way. And I know that at least half the people out there have the type of avoidant personality disorder where they only feel comfortable with their families and with the people they've known all their life. But guess what? That is a cycle. You know, it's like a water wheel. You know, you might dump out the stress as the water goes down, but then it just turns right back around because you're living with the same people who set you up to have this, and here it comes back around again. And it's probably super comfortable for you because that's all you've known in your life, but try to get them out of your life and have as much physical distance as you can. You know, I mean, I just think it would be, I am definitely to the point where I would rather be alone forever than to be in an abusive relationship again. And I just really wish that other people were like that, because you know what? okay, it's unlikely, but who the hell knows? I mean, I could get into a relationship again tomorrow. You never know. You do not control the universe. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I doubt it's going to happen. I am comfortable with it never happening. And I'm way more comfortable with it never happening than being in an abusive relationship. And so I know it takes you really do. Same thing, video I made yesterday. How do you make a major radical change? You've got to like blow up your life or something, or get to the point where you've got to make changes. And that's a huge one, to cut the people who were abusive and who are abusive out of your life. But, you know, I kind of think it's sad that the divorce rates are so low for people with avoidant personality disorder, that people get in relationships, either friendships or whatever, with people, and they just stay with them even though the relationship's dead and it's nothing but abuse. And, you know, whatever. Remember that old Wham song where the guy's like, you know, what's keeping us together is you know, all the bills that we have. I mean, that's the saddest. And that horror of that lifestyle where you just feel so absolutely stuck with somebody who's taking out all their shit on you, it feels so comfortable because that's what you grew up with. But you don't need that. And you can get rid of that. And I really wish that sort of awareness would like make the divorce rate spike for people with avoidant personality disorder. And I bet there's a whole lot of people out there going, what? They don't get married. Oh, yes, they do. You might not be married. That's fine. That's probably great. That's probably like because you're not being forced to follow societal norms and then pick the dregs of society that nobody else wants. You know, really, I mean, if you're doing it when you're young, when everybody's hooking up, then yeah, there's a very good chance. If you have, like, if you're like, you know, we were like in your early 20s when you got married, there's a very good chance that it was sort of a bottom of the barrel type relationship. Let's be real. You need to have some years under you. You need to be able to be independent before you can have the sense to pick a person. Because if you're just going from your abusive family into a relationship, then you're going to repeat exactly what you had your abusive things, you know, happening to you, period. You need to be out on your own for a little while, away from your family, before you can pick somebody that's actually going to be a good match for you and it's not going to be abusive. Facts. So if you can see a direct line from your family of origin and the abuse that you grew up with, which I know you can get avoidant personality disorder, you know, from your school chums. Well, same thing, man. If you're still living in the same hometown and seeing all the places where you were picked on as a kid, then that's the same as living in the same house with your abuser, because you're still in the same place. You're still reenacting it every day. It's still being reinforced every single day. Move out of that town if that's where you got your trigger from. Get away from all the people. Get away from the places where you were abused. And then once you've had that break, then you can have an a sort of sense of self, in order to hopefully not just fall right into an recreation of whatever you grew up with. And guess what? If you do, break up with that relationship. Kick them out. Go to, you know, you go to college and it doesn't work. It reminds you too much of home, then find another college, go there. Same with a job. Find a new job. Find some new friends. You know, you can do it. It is really hard. It's really hard to make a big change, but you can do it, and that is how your life is going to get better. So, that's my cajoling and motivational speech all wrapped up into one. I'm telling you though, when it starts creeping back into your life, it does freak you out. I mean, I actually had a panic attack when I heard my sister was moving back, because I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to have to deal with her. And yeah, I have to deal with her. And I can't just say, okay, well, I'm going to hang up the phone now and she's on the other side of the country. And I don't, you know what though? If it gets to me that much, I can move to the other side of the country and leave her here. Let's be real. You know, I don't have a mortgage, I have a rent, and I can always move. And if I get that stressed out, I will. Maybe I'll move to another country. I keep traveling to other countries. Why don't I pick one and move? I really liked Ireland. Be really expensive there, especially because I would not be able to work. But online, hey. My job is extremely flexible. What I could do here, I could do anywhere. So, hey, I could do it too. Maybe that's what this video is really about. Maybe it's me trying to convince myself it's time to move again. Although I just got a cat that probably don't need to have her moving. Anyway, that's enough, I think. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.